Hello, everyone, and welcome to part three of the LinkedIn Sales Operating System. My name is Zach Derris, the founder of ZDTS, and today's workshop is really focused on your ultimate checklist. But most importantly, we've thrown in a bonus here, and we're going to give you a live analysis of a sales call that generated revenue in this past week. The analysis is going to break down every single element of everything that was said in the sales call, just to help you understand that once you start implementing absolutely everything in the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, this is how you close, and it comes into fruition because it all does work. So welcome to part three. Quick disclaimer. Before the end of this entire workshop, 70% of you will not implement this system, and that's okay. Because 30% of you will absolutely crush it in 2024 by implementing the LinkedIn Sales Operating System. If I'm wrong and it's more than 30%, please show me. That 30% will choose to work with me for 2 to 3 weeks after the workshop to customize a game plan, receive one-to-one support, gain their first few clients. However, I'm not interested in the 30%. I'm not even interested in the 70%. So think about that for a minute. Not interested in the 70%, not interested in the 30%. What am I interested in? I'm interested in 100% of every single person who has attended this workshop, because you took the first leap of faith. You invested in yourself to gain the skills, the knowledge, and the framework of absolutely everything that you need to be successful on this platform. Therefore, for the first 6 weeks of January, as a thank you for participating in the workshop, I'm offering you all a free of charge LinkedIn Sales Operating System continuous support group. So what that means is you're going to receive every week for the first 6 weeks of 2024, a 30-minute Q&A with myself once a week, and a free private community to support you all in your first few weeks of 2024. We will meet once a week for 30 minutes. Or based on the Q&As that we've had over the past 2 weeks, you all know what I'm like. So it's probably going to go over 30 minutes. And you can all ask me as many questions as you wish to. In the private community, we can all support each other in this community, because I know you can all absolutely crush it in 2024. And this is my way of giving myself peace of mind that you are going to crush it just by giving you some additional support. However, for the 30% of you, I have a once-in-a-lifetime offer. In 2 hours, I'm going to share it and I'll explain what it is. But for now, we have a workshop to do. So let's go ahead and crack on. What are we going to cover today? We're going to go through the close call, the follow-up process, the second meeting structure, and closing the deal. We're going to talk about the next steps, which consist of the confirmation email, sending the invoice, and receiving the funds. We're then going to dive into getting started with your client, project management, setting expectations, and managing the relationship. And finally, we're going to focus on the upsell. We're going to talk about crafting your upsell, planting the seed, and upselling your clients. Now, before I do that, I'm just going to, for one second. But first, let's do a quick recap. As I mentioned, I like to call workshop 3 the checklist. So the way that I've created everything is essentially in a way that you can just go back to this deck at any point and just have an overview of everything that you need to do to successfully implement the LinkedIn Sales Operating System over the course of the next 12 months in 2024. So the sales development side of things, the first thing that needs to be done is reading the manual that I provided to you in session 1, optimizing your LinkedIn profile, optimizing Calendly with your closed questions, completing the customer pain point analysis, developing your services, crafting your pitch deck, building your database with Sales Navigator or Crunchbase, creating your sales offering, crafting your messages and scripts, organizing your calendar, developing your call structure, and crafting your upsell offer. Now, if what you are planning to do with your business is a part-time thing and it's not currently a full-time thing, it's totally fine for this to take you 6 months for you to have absolutely everything crafted. If you're in a position where your entrepreneurial gig is the only source of revenue, I would honestly recommend not putting too much pressure on yourself in January to go ahead and get sales and really focus on getting absolutely everything built out. And you'll find very quickly that you'll structure yourself in a really nice way, as I mentioned, by organizing your calendar, which we went through last week. And you may still find time to do a little bit of prospecting every single week alongside the development of your sales. Now that that's out the way, the prospecting process. We went through this last week. The start line is creating your Sales Navigator leads list. And there's two ways that you can do that, by either utilizing Sales Navigator or Crunchbase, and also utilizing the LinkedIn Sales Operating the System database, the template of the database, the Excel sheet that I gave you. And then the first step is identifying your prospects. So either going through your Safe Search, your leads list, or on Crunchbase, or the data you've taken from Crunchbase and Apollo, and put that into your database template, and identifying who's at the top of that list that you want to go ahead and start prospecting. You're gonna go to visit their LinkedIn profile. You're gonna review their content, spend 3 to 5 minutes engaging in their content. Go to follow their company page and engage in their company page content. Send them a connection request sharing appreciation, as we discussed in the last class. For example, we commented on some content. We let that person know, hey, Alexa, I really love that post that you put out about DAOs. I don't know quite a lot about DAOs. Can we jump on a call so you can educate me further, right? That's an instant win, because anyone who is posting content about stuff that they do themselves, they always want to share their knowledge. The next phase is going to be attempting to engage on other social media platforms during the process of sending the connection request and performing that engagement. Then you're going to send them an email notifying them about that connection request. If you don't have an accepted connection request within 3 days, take my word on this, just cross them off your list and move on to the next prospect. We all know how to develop evergreen data now with the LinkedIn platform. So you're going to constantly have access to fresh leads that are going to be interested in the products and services that you have to offer. So you don't need to be too hung up about people not replying to your email or accepting your connection. Regardless of the process or the framework, this still is a numbers game, and we have to do the numbers. Once they've accepted your connection, you're going to send them a text connection message, which is essentially, hey, thanks for connecting. Then you're going to grab your phone, record a video, or if you prefer to, record an audio note. They both are just as effective, with the video being a little bit more effective. Then, if you are going to do a video, edit your video in CapCut or Captions with the steps provided in the previous pitch deck. Then you're going to send an email notifying this individual about the video. You're going to continue engaging in their content. And if you need to do the audio and the video follow-up steps, then go ahead and do them, because occasionally you are going to have to do that. Not everyone's going to respond to the first message that you send them. Then you're going to engage back and forth in conversation. You're just going to pull from them consistently, add value, offer to jump on a call to work together with that person, send them a Calendly, send them a message on LinkedIn after receiving the booking, find opportunities before the call for further engagement. That could just be engaging in their content, or it could be inviting them to a LinkedIn Live event that you're going to host. Send them a message on LinkedIn 20 minutes before the call, just confirming, hey, Tom, I'm just confirming, are you joining the call in 20 minutes? Because if they're not, you've got 20 minutes for free to do another task. Then you're going to host the sales call, and you're going to follow the first sales call structure that you already have access to. Now, I'm smiling because I've been crafting something for you all this whole week, and I'm excited to share it. You've done the sales call. Now you're going to move into the close call, and this is the follow-up process I would like you all to stick to. During the first sales call, you need to agree on the next call. And I'm going to give you a live example of that in a moment. Send them an email with your deck straight after the first call. Send them the calendar invite of the next meeting that you've agreed on already. DM them on LinkedIn after you've performed these two actions, the email and the calendar invite, and just say, hey, great talking to you. Just to confirm, I've sent you the email and I've sent you the calendar invite. Speak to you in a week or whenever the day is. Continue the engagement process. This is absolutely essential because you don't want them to think, once Zach's got my attention, he's not engaging in my content anymore. Just keep that relationship and that engagement process going. And during this whole entire period, if it's a week or 3 days or 5 days between the first sales call and the next call, don't talk about your offer to them in the message, but like do check in and say hello and engage in their content and all of these things. If you have a live event on LinkedIn, invite them to it. If you see any valuable content that, based on the conversation you've had with them in the first sales call, you feel that they could benefit from, tell them about it. Do not send them a link inside the chat, because when you do that, one, if it's your own content, it's going to devalue on your algorithm, because whenever you copy a link, normally a UTM code is attached, which I'll show you right now. And that UTM code is tracked by the back end of LinkedIn, and they don't want content engagement to be generated by external sources and links being shared. But also the link shows up inside the message and it just looks kind of messy. So I'm going to show you right now in a moment how to actually go ahead and do that. And then you're going to continue the engagement process. And that's the whole entire follow-up process. So let me just go ahead and show you really quickly. I'm going to take a moment to log on to LinkedIn and okay, it will work. It's just been a bit finicky. And Alexa, we're going to use you as an example. Oh, for some reason, I can't log in.
Guys, LinkedIn has been really bad. Also, yesterday it was not working.
Okay, cool. Would anyone like to be a volunteer and share their account on screen? And I will just talk you through the steps really quickly. It's just like 1 or 2 buttons we need to do. If not, I am my phone switched off, so I can't
I
even
can do.
it.
I can do.
Okay. Cool, Alexa, that would be wonderful. So if you can just kindly share your screen, go to LinkedIn.
I'm not sure who said that they would share. It was not me, sorry.
Oh, okay. I think it was Anna.
It was me. Hi, it's Janina. Hi, Zach.
Hi, Anina, you legend. Amazing. Could you kindly share your screen? And we'll go ahead and do that. Really frustrates me when the LinkedIn platform is down because it's my 99% of all source. So do me a favor, scroll down to your activity and click on your most recent post, right? Imagine you want me to see your most recent post. And as I suggested, don't copy the link. All I want you to do is there's a paper aeroplane send button right next to repost. If you click on that, you type in my name as an example. And you click on that, you can add a message. But what I would recommend is not adding a message, because the message is going to appear at the top of the post. Send that, then go to your message inbox, open up the message that you just sent to me. It'll take a second for it to kick through. Cool, fantastic. And now if you can scroll up a bit, you can see the recent conversation you and I have had above that, but there is no link. It's just the post that you've just pinged over to me. And now you can write a message, because as you can see on your list of messages on the left-hand side, it says you sent a post. To me, it's going to say Janina sent a post. It's not going to show any information. So what I always make sure I do is I write something along the lines of, I saw this and I thought of you, or I just put this out. Do check it out because it covers everything that we discussed on Friday. And now the message says, I saw this and I thought of you. They're going to open up their message either on their phone or on their computer, and they're going to see the link to your event, right? So the text, because it is an event, it could be, I'm going to be hosting this. And because we spoke on Friday, I think you're going to take a lot of value from this. So thank you so much, Janina. That was awesome. Really appreciate it. And let's continue. Oh, that was a sneak peek. Let's pretend that you didn't see that. So you've done the follow-up process. And now this is the structure of how your second meeting should typically look like. Just like the first meeting, you got a warm intro. You're asking them how they feel about working with you. They've already seen your pitch deck. They've already been pitched. So you need to ask this question. For example, so after you reviewed all the information that I sent out to you, how do you feel about working with me? And then you ask them another important question. Do you think you're going to benefit from it? Ask them if they have any concerns. Some people, some great sales trainers may say this is creating objections for yourself, but I promise you, every single buyer does have a concern. That concern could be, we discussed this, and maybe someone already knows, time or money. So it's always important to just address that head on, because that way you can get much closer to the close. Address their concerns, walk them through the payment process, talk them through the next steps. What I mean by payment process is typically some people may have a payment before service or a 30-day payment after service, which I would never recommend. Conversation for the Q&A session. But it's always important to just set the expectations and tell them. So if you're interested in going ahead, the way that I work is I send you over a confirmation email. Then I request all the details that I need from you for invoicing. And once the invoice is paid, it's a 3-day payment term. I'm going to send you a confirmation of payment, and then I'm going to ping you out the calendar invites for all of our 7 sessions that we're going to host together. Talking through the next steps, discuss a start date, request the information on the call for their invoice. This is so essential. There have been so many occasions where people have told me in the call that they have been sold and they are going to go ahead, and then I ask for their invoice details and they say they're going to email it to me, and guess what? I never get it. And I don't chase them. If they do not give me the invoice information by email when they tell me they're going to do it, it means they're too scared of spending the money, or they haven't taken value, right? And they've changed their mind, and there's nothing you can do about that. By securing the invoicing details within the call, you have that confirmation, and they know that you or your team is now going to put the effort in to send out that invoice. You confirm the sale, you go through everything that you've sold, the price, the duration, everything that they're going to receive, and then warm outro. Now, at the beginning of the week, I said to myself, what is a sales workshop if I cannot show you all how I sell? Now, thankfully, touch wood, I close 3 or 4 meetings a week. You know, I would say in the past 2 to 3 weeks has slowed down because I've been really heavy focused on some retainer stuff, but typically it's about 3 to 4 meetings a week. But one thing I never, ever do is record my pitch calls, because it's just weird. I have no reason to go ahead and do that. But I've done that for you all. For the next 45 minutes, we're going to be going through this live sales call. For this section of the workshop, we're going to be analyzing a live sales call. Now, for the protection of this individual, and as I respect their privacy, I've removed their voice in the video from the recording that you're about to see. So you're just going to see me jump from here to how I was during the call. Now, here's a little bit of a background. Every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. European time and 11 a.m. Eastern time, I host a live sales support session just to give people support for LinkedIn sales. This is something I've been doing on a regular basis, and it's always yielded me a lot of workshop sales and consulting sales. So it kind of makes sense that I continue utilizing this as a lead magnet and a lead funnel to be able to garner more interest into my workshop and sales offerings. The reason why this works is because you're giving value away for free. You're giving people a reason to jump on a call and speak to you. And I would highly recommend everyone find an opportunity to be able to host some form of live event. It could either be a private Zoom call or a LinkedIn live event or even an audio event to be able to attract your ICP customers into a room with you where they can see your expertise live. They can get a taste of what it's like to work with you. And then they'll have an initial call to be able to see if it's worthwhile actually considering your services. This particular individual has been inside my community, lurking in the background for the past few months. I had no idea until the Tuesday sales support session that I was hosting, and they told me this. I gathered some information, I gathered some data the day before. I sent around an email and a LinkedIn message to a bunch of people asking them if they would like to come through to the sales support session. This person said to me, perfect timing, in an email. They responded, perfect timing. I've just set up my consulting business 4 weeks ago, and we are actively looking for sales solutions for LinkedIn. So we jumped on a call and this is what happened. And every single part of the sales call, I'm going to analyze. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you again. So they've just joined the call. Yeah, no worries. They said they need a second. That is totally fine. You doing well? I appreciate you joining the call. A warm intro, thanking them for joining the call. Oh, amazing, man. I hope it's not too cold for you right now. It's pretty chilly over here. Building up a relationship is absolutely essential. I'm able to relax and relate with him, which is a method that any salesperson should be implementing. This person mentioned that they're currently on a trip in Europe from America. It's pretty chilly over here. They're adapting to the cold, and I'm just relating to that. Wonderful. Yeah, no, it's going really well. I want to just take a moment to thank you for joining the workshop the other day. I hope you took value from it. Guessing you're here, maybe because you did. I'm acknowledging where I initially met the person and assuming that they took value, planting the seed in their head that I did actually provide them value during the workshop, and they responded with, yes, it was very valuable. I'm keen to learn more about how you can help and support me. Wow. I really appreciate that, man. That really means a lot. Yeah, no, for sure. We can dive straight in, and I appreciate you booking on the Calendly too. And I noticed that when you did, you mentioned that some of the areas that you're struggling with right now are live events, content engagement, sales, and lead generation. And you also mentioned that some areas that you need to improve on are training yourself for sales and potentially training your team. If we can start with like the struggles, just so I can add as much value as I can in the next 20 minutes. So obviously I thank the individual for his kind words that acknowledge that I did actually give him value during the sales support session. And now I dive straight into the Calendly questions. We're not even 2 minutes into the call. We've done the icebreaker. I acknowledge that on Calendly, he mentioned to me certain struggles that he has or areas that he would like to improve. I'm repeating what his answers were just to remind him, because he may not remember what options that he selected. What are the biggest struggles that you're coming across when it comes to generating sales? I think that's the best place to start. And then I asked him the most important question: what are the biggest struggles that you face when it comes to actually generating sales? Now, this particular person at this stage went into a lot of intricate detail and explained to me that he's not a salesperson. He understands that he does need to sell. Where he enjoys spending the most of his time is actually executing workshops that he delivers. And he delivers corporate workshops to businesses, teaching them about the power of AI and new technology that's coming to light. So one thing that I understood very quickly is he is a salesperson. He just needs some processes and structures in place to be able to help him consistently close deals. Okay. Several times throughout the call, I am verbal when the person is speaking. I'm not interrupting them, but I'm treating it like a live back and forth conversation, intentionally acknowledging what they're saying by utilizing words such as yes, okay, nice, no. So they know that I'm actively engaged inside the conversation. And do you use the premium version for LinkedIn for that? Do you jump onto Sales Navigator? This is an absolute key question because a significant portion of the training I'm going to be providing him is going to be utilizing Sales Navigator to generate him an evergreen pipeline. Now, keep in mind, I don't go here willy-nilly. I've done my research. I know who his ideal customer is, and I know exactly how to sell to them because I took the time to research his business, read through his services, and any good salesperson can sell anything. They can sell ice to an Eskimo. So I'm asking him intricate questions that are going to point me in the direction of sharing my deck and showing to him how the LinkedIn platform is going to help him generate more sales.
No. Okay.
Obviously, his answer was no, so I'm shocked. And he continues to say that because of the sales support session, I was explaining the value, not in a lot of detail, but the value of the Sales Navigator platform. He said after I told him about that, he decided to read up a little bit and do a little research, and he's intrigued.
Right. Understood. Fantastic.
Again, just acknowledging what he's saying.
And is it just yourself that's actively growing the business, or do you have like BD guys or sales guys underneath you that you could train up with the right processes?
This question is essential. This allows me to understand, one, how many people I can sell to and what his budget is. If he has salespeople underneath him as a bootstrapped company that has just launched, then I know he has a budget for me to offer my sales development services that can range anywhere from 2,000 to 8,000 depending on their requirements. He responded that it's only him right now and his partner has agreed to help out, but he's more client facing and he doesn't want to do any of the sales. So he is predominantly responsible for the outbound outreach of generating customers and booking meetings. Therefore, I know he's my decision maker.
Wow. So only 4 weeks in. That's fantastic, man. Congratulations. I hope you still have that new, fresh entrepreneurial drive within you. Yeah, that feeling never goes away.
It's important that he understands I am also an entrepreneur. I know the feeling that he's having right now, so he can relate to me and he can also open up to me about the struggles. The more struggles this individual talks to me about, the more ways I'm going to be able to upsell to him, provide solutions to him, and scale his business.
Interesting.
Acknowledging that what he said was interesting.
Yeah.
Acknowledging what he's saying.
Okay.
More acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Now, this is something absolutely essential for everyone to understand. The reason why I am acknowledging what he's saying throughout the call isn't only to show him that I'm interested, it's also to give me opportunities to interrupt him. And over a period of 10 minutes, 20 minutes, subconsciously, he is going to slow down and have more breaks in between each of the sentences to allow me to talk because of the fact that I am acknowledging him whilst he is talking. If you get that, you can see how you can remain in control of the sales process.
And can you just take a moment to just explain in as much detail as you can, like what are the workshops, what are the services that you're offering to these AI clients?
So he's just given me a very detailed explanation of all the services, all the workshops, all the solutions that he can offer to his clients. And I dived in with,
see, that's really interesting because a lot of people have the impression that in this day and age, they still need to go out and meet the clients face to face and create a corporate proposal, especially when you're delivering workshops and things like this, where in reality, if you utilize the LinkedIn platform specifically in the right skill set, you'll be able to do everything from the comfort of your own home. Now, understandably, it sounds like to me you prefer to actually be in the client site and delivering the workshop in person. Is that correct? Is that the goal plan here?
I meant game plan. But either way, he was explaining that he has a potential proposal where he's going to need to go to several offices for a business and deliver the workshops. And he's really excited about it because he thinks it's going to close, which led me to believe that he's prepared to do more in-person pitches and he's probably enjoying it. And he told me, no, I absolutely hate it, but this is the way that we sell. It's absolutely essential for him to be face-to-face in his mind, and I'm going to rock his world.
Okay. Again, more acknowledgement. So if you haven't actively utilized the LinkedIn platform yet, which I'm going to show you some really cool stuff in a minute so you can take some massive value from this call today, what is the process? How are you gathering your leads? How have you, as you mentioned a few seconds ago, you've already got some stuff in the pipeline, like where are you generating them from?
So he's explained to me that he hasn't actively utilized anything online to be able to generate customers. He hasn't even purchased a database. He has connections in person that can tap him into businesses that require consulting and training. And it's almost like a consortium of sorts where he believes is going to generate him a lot of leads. But as someone who isn't an experienced salesperson, he doesn't understand all the bureaucracy that comes with working with consortiums, and these kind of things do not act fast. As a new business owner, especially when you have a consulting agency, it's absolutely essential that within the first 6 months you can pay for yourself to sustain the business, not from a financial perspective, from a mental and a motivation perspective. And these deals that he's talking about right now aren't going to close quickly.
Can I make one recommendation? Please, under no circumstance should you cold email those 288 individuals.
So the person just told me that he's received a database of 288 companies that he can go and gather their data and emails from, and he's going to do a MailChimp campaign with a very long email. He literally showed me and he was like, I've got this really long email that details every single aspect of my business, and I hope I'm going to get at least like 50, 60 responses from it because we wrote the email in a really good way.
Yeah, like, I don't care how good the script is going to be. That's giving you 288 opportunities for people to say no to you.
And that threw him off. And he was like, why? Like, this is what we need to do, I believe. Now, if I was not confident in myself by me saying I don't care how good the script is going to be, he could have told me to get lost and he could have left the call. But because of the fact that I've already previously added value to his life, he understood that no matter what Zach says, he has to listen and he has to just believe that it's going to be the right thing.
It's very straightforward. We live in a very digital age, correct? The majority of people who are buying right now are those who are actively building relationships with the person that's trying to sell to them. And the only way that you can effectively sell with people is if you provide value, you're consistent, and you stand out from the rest of the crowd.
I'm providing value over there by telling him how to provide value. I've captivated his attention.
Yeah, 100%. On the LinkedIn platform, you'll be able to do all of that. So what is the biggest struggle that you have faced when it comes to these free meetings that you've generated so far? If you could walk me through the sales cycle of it or the process, that would be cool.
Turns out after this that they weren't actually meetings. These are people that replied to him and told him that he was going to meet them. Are they going to meet or not? Let's see. The emails were received 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah. Now I have everything I need. Just a couple questions.
I intentionally said I have everything that I need, and then I said I have a couple questions, which makes him believe that I've already come up with a conclusion in terms of how I can help him.
So in about 2 to 3 minutes, I would love to show you how I believe, based on what you've told me right now in the past few minutes, what I have that's really going to help you out.
I just told him that in 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to show him something. So he's definitely going to stay for another 2 to 3 minutes. Even though we've agreed to a 20-minute call, I'm telling him something is coming. It's a sales workshop that goes over a period of 7 hours across 3 weeks. But before I get there, I told him what it is. And now he's probably thinking to himself, okay, maybe I'm interested. As someone who sells workshops, receiving a workshop to help him sell his workshops is probably going to be a good decision. I want to just kind of show you what you can do on the LinkedIn platform. So I'm really excited that you gained a lot of value from the workshop I delivered the other day, but what I'm going to show you now is going to be specific to you. So I just have a couple questions really quickly. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to screen share with you, if that's all right. I'm going to head over to LinkedIn. And before I actually deliver the pitch deck on the screen and show him what the sales workshop is, I've told him that I'm going to show you live how it's going to help you.
And I'm going to show you Sales Navigator, and we're going to build out a pipeline. And this pipeline is going to be of individuals that you can start prospecting today.
This is really important. If you are training people or you're offering a solution or a service, and in your Calendly, you're asking questions that pulls their struggles from them. Your live sales call is the opportunity for you to demonstrate your skills and your expertise and to provide them with results, to give them a reason to purchase from you. This is exactly what's happening right now, because very quickly he's going to learn exactly how many people within his target demographic he can sell his workshops to.
If you have the right processes, frameworks, and the systems in place, you don't even need me, and you can go ahead and hit this target audience. So, a couple questions that I have for you. In terms of the location, you mentioned you'd rather do this in person, right? Is there a specific town or state that you want to go after? Okay. So we can just go for New Jersey in total. Okay. Great. Fantastic. Now, do you want to define it by the postcode or the zip code? Do you want to reduce it, increase it, or do you no? So you'll be happy to go anywhere in NJ to be able to deliver the consultations. All right, great, fantastic. Let me show you some cool stuff. So, globally on the LinkedIn platform right now, we have over 1 billion users. Typically, anywhere from 250,000 to 500,000 people sign up for LinkedIn every single 24 hours, which shows you that there is a never-ending pipeline for yourself that you'll be able to generate, because every single day, people change jobs, they get promoted, they move to another sector. So whatever search I'm about to build out for you right now, regardless of the size, it's going to increase over time, and the LinkedIn platform, based on these filters, based on these algorithms, is going to constantly pop new leads into your search. I'm educating him. I'm taking my time to explain the fundamentals of LinkedIn so he fully understands the value of what I'm about to deliver to him. Yeah. Absolutely, 100%. And he just asked me, is this going to work for him though? And obviously my response is absolutely 100%. So even though in the state of New Jersey, there are 4 million people, that's just way too high because we haven't put any keywords in there. So first thing that I want to do, just to set my own expectations whenever I'm building out a pipeline, is I want to activate people who are posted on LinkedIn. Now on the free version of LinkedIn, you're not going to be able to see this, and this itself is worth the $100 a month that you pay for SalesNav. But if you use Sales Navigator properly, within the first hour of the first day, every single year, it's going to pay for itself. So from 4 million people, we've got down to 96 people, 96,000 people. And now we're going to build your target audience so you can go ahead and sell your AI consulting to. Now, is there a specific industry that you want to target?
Now, can you notice something? You've all spent several hours with me already inside this workshop. Is my behavior any different from how I treated you all paying customers versus this individual that I'm trying to get to pay me? No, there is no difference whatsoever. The mannerism, the excitement, the energy, the education is all exactly the same. This is intentional. The more authentic you are with individuals, the more they're going to continue to invest in you in the long run.
Okay, that makes sense. Everybody can benefit from it. So, all right, that's great, fantastic. So, in terms of job title, who would you say typically is going to be the individuals? Okay, great. So we're gonna, yeah, okay.
I'm constantly pulling from him and making sure that I gather all the right information to give him some really good results.
Great. And company size?
Yeah,
you can.
no, it's awesome.
So I think because of the fact that you're going in new, it's probably going to be easier for you to close SMEs, like smaller businesses. Okay.
He was surprised with the fact that we could have a look by company size. So I am also acknowledging the fact that that is a really cool filter to be able to have, just to maintain his excitement and enthusiasm.
Okay. I love this. Fantastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 to 10, 11 to 50, and 50 to 200 employees. Okay, cool. We'll go for 1 to 50, right? So out of 4 million people down to 96,000, we've got 2,500 individuals who are CEOs of businesses that you can prospect.
I'm giving value and I'm telling him that his decision to go after smaller businesses is correct. But he also suggested possibly going after larger businesses. So I'm just explaining to him it'll be better that he starts small, get some deals in, and then increase.
But what I would like to do is take it a little step further and put in a particular keyword
Or a function or a skill set.
so I know these are the right type of. You've got it. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
And he agreed with me. He understands the value of going in small and then working your way up. So his response was, yes, that way I'll be able to specifically target the right person. So I'm keeping him engaged throughout the whole entire process. This isn't me telling him what to do. It's a back and forth conversation.
I'll probably put that under industry, to be honest. So let's have a look.
He explained to me that the 2 meetings that he hopes is going to have are going to be with recruitment agencies, and he feels that that's going to be a nice demographic for him to tap into.
Okay. This may look small to you. However,
This is fantastic because this is a key demographic.
it's your ICP. You've got 52 CEOs of recruitment firms in New Jersey that you could drive out to at any moment and go ahead and pitch to them. Yeah, 100%. But I also liked what you said about specifically looking at people who are already interested in AI. They may be offering something related to AI. This is your 100%. 100%. Your workshops are going to advance for them.
I'm acknowledging that his ideas are correct, which shows him that this is an individual that respects him and appreciates him. These things are so vital in the sales process, and it's so authentic as well. So we've got 52 people instantly that you could go ahead and prospect on the recruiting side of things.
You've got 184 individuals on the AI side of things that you can go ahead and prospect and advance what they're already delivering. Now, if you were to, I can stop screen sharing right now. If you were to go ahead and just pitch these people on that email mass campaign that you were talking about a moment ago, you may get 1 meeting. You agree? Okay.
At this point, the individual I was speaking to agreed with me and said, yeah, I think you're right, because of the fact that this is something new. It's clearly a better way of them prospecting and identifying customers, and they're eager to learn how it can benefit them.
Yeah, with this process, what I'm going to be doing completely differently for you is showing you a way that you can increase your law of averages. Are you familiar with what law of averages are?
It's always good to continuously ask them questions, even though you're diving straight into the pitch and you're selling and promoting your services. Keep them engaged throughout the whole entire pitch.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely no problem. So typically, if we're going to put ourselves in like a direct sales mentality, you need to knock on 100 doors, enable for 10 people to open up the door for you. And out of them 10 people, 1 or 2 of them may say yes to being pitched. With this, because of the fact that they are active on the LinkedIn platform. Yep. They're active on the LinkedIn platform because we enabled that option.
At this point, they have asked me if it's going to show that they're active because they've posted content.
They're in your target kind of demographic. They're in the region and the location as to what you want. These are going to be the people that you can instantly build a relationship with. Now, what's going to happen with this client engagement process that I briefly touched on Tuesday is we're going to make them remember us by consistently adding value to their content and to their online presence, to a point that when you go to actually ask them to connect with you or speak to you or join a live event, which is a conversation for another day, you increase your chances, you increase your law of averages, and typically that can be anywhere from 70 to 85 out of 100 if you implement the stuff on the right way. So if you're going to go ahead and do these email campaigns and click-through funnels and all of that stuff, you're going to need to target tens of thousands of people in order to just generate 10 meetings. With this, what I advise to all of my clients or anyone who joins the workshops that I have, which are also clients technically, is that you should be prospecting 6 to 10 people every single day. And on the back end of that, if you're doing that properly, you're going to be converting 3 to 4 meetings a week consistently. Now, yeah. Okay, cool. can I quickly show you something?
At this point, they said to me that they believe this is going to work for them. So what's available? And this is why, even though they've asked me to show them something, I'm still asking them, can I show you something? Just to keep them engaged and be respectful.
Okay, I appreciate it, sir. So take a look at this.
And one thing that you can notice is that even though the call structure that I've provided everyone shows that you should be listening for 70% of the time and you should be pitching for 30% of the time, I've kind of flipped this because of the fact that they were already incredibly warm. They were asking me the right questions, providing me with the right answers, continuously engaging with me because I was engaging with them through saying yes and nice and okay, and they ended up doing exactly the same thing. I understood that this is my opportunity to sell myself and give them as much gold as possible. And this is why for the past 5 minutes, I've been talking non-stop.
Okay, great, fantastic, thank you. So I work with people in a number of ways. Either I come in and I train their whole entire sales team, or me and my team take over the whole entire sales process. But for a company who's bootstrapped, who's in the first 4 weeks of building out their business, I wouldn't recommend you using your capital to do something like that.
Now, this is very psychological what I did right now. I explained the main ways that I normally work, but then I elaborated on the main things that he emphasized on, which was him telling me that he's bootstrapped and he's just started his company. And then I say you, and I prolong the word you. It's very psychological, but it's my way of telling him this is the perfect package for you. It's weird, but I don't know. It works.
Bring in 4 or 5 clients, let the revenue come in, and then we can have a conversation about what I like to call phase 2.
So I've told him in order for him to get to phase 2, he needs to take phase 1, because in phase 1, he's going to achieve the 4 to 5 clients, and then he's going to pay me more to help him get more customers, because phase 1 is very effective.
Phase 1 of everything isn't going to be focused on this or this or this. It's going to be this.
That's my way of telling him I have a lot to offer.
This is the 7-hour workshop that I deliver over a period of 3 weeks. So we meet on a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday, then again on a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday, and then finally on a Monday and a Wednesday. It's 1 hour each. Everything is recorded and transcribed. So your staff members and anyone else that you would like, they can come in and they can receive the recording afterhand if they are not available at the time of the live sessions that we coordinate together.
This is me showing him organization and structure, and it isn't going to be incredibly overwhelming. It's a short period of time, 3 times a week, which is going to give him enough time to digest and action absolutely everything.
But before we even dive into all of this stuff, what's going to happen is I'm going to send you over a 40-question questionnaire. Essentially, it's a discovery document. And in the discovery document, it's probably going to take you 2 hours to complete everything, because I'm going to ask you every single question under the sun as it relates to your current business model, your pitch deck, the way you're approaching people, to save us 3 or 4 hours of consultation at the beginning. So I'm reviewing that on my own time, and by the time it comes to the workshop, we dive straight in with session 1.
By me telling him that he's going to receive a discovery document, and then I go on to say that I'm going to review it absolutely for free, is showing him that I'm going above and beyond, and I'm giving my own free time to make sure that the workshop is successfully executed for him and he takes the most amount of benefit from it.
And session 1 is going to be the introduction. We're going to set some expectations together. You're going to answer any questions that I have about the discovery doc that I couldn't get the answer to. And then I'm going to get you set up on my project management tool, which is probably going to be Trello for a situation like this. And then we're going to dive in by optimizing your profile. I have a step-by-step profile optimization guide and process that I'm going to walk you through, and that's instantly going to be able to attract more people to your profile. Because yes, it's great relying on outbound leads for businesses like this, but if you're crafting the right type of sales for leadership focused content, you'll be attracting a lot of people if your profile is optimized. And then Calendly, you're going to hear me talk about it a lot. It's going to be one of the ways that it's going to 10x your conversion of your meetings. And then in session 2, we're going to dive into sales nav. And what's going to happen in that is I'm going to show you, as it relates to you specifically in your target audience, how we're going to build 5 or 6 campaigns of target groups that we're going to target for you to go in and to deliver the workshops. Now, straight after this call, what I'm going to do is I'm going to email you over this proposal, but I'm also going to attach 2 recordings. One is a 2024 sales and marketing strategy as it relates to LinkedIn, and the other one is a 45-minute step-by-step tutorial as it relates to sales. Yeah, Sales Nav.
One really important thing. Remember, I told him that there are a couple videos that I'm going to give him access to. This is why I specifically highlighted the fact that the Sales Navigator training I'm going to provide to him is going to be completely different to that. And it's going to be specific to him, to make sure that after he goes to watch the 2 video recordings that I provided to him, that he doesn't think, okay, now I have everything and I can go ahead and do it on my own. They were recorded in a way that people know that there is so much more that they need one-on-one support with. It's sales content after all.
Yeah, no, it's free, you know, like, of course. Yeah, no, absolutely.
And he asked me, is it free or do I have to pay extra for that? By him saying pay extra is a buying signal that he's going to purchase this workshop.
And what I would recommend is, before you decide to go ahead and give me an answer if you want to go ahead with this or not, watch both of them so you can see me in action and how I train people, so you know it's the right decision for you.
He just gave me a buying signal. And I'm not going to let him know that I'm excited about this or I think that he's actually going to purchase. I'm telling him specifically, before you go ahead and make a decision, there's something you have to do. Even though at this stage I knew the deal was closed. And we'll get to that in a minute.
And then in between, something important, in between each of the hour sessions, I'm going to set you an hour of homework. And it's very important that you complete this homework. I've been known to cancel the sessions if people do not complete the homework and reschedule, because if you're not putting the theory into practice, you're not going to be able to progress and really fully take advantage of this whole entire workshop. So if you agree to do this, I'm going to ask you for a commitment of 14 hours. That's going to be 7 hours on your own and 7 hours with me.
And at this point, he responded, yeah, I'm 100% in. It makes a lot of sense. Basically, the deal was done.
Then we dive into the fun stuff. Once we've mapped out your target audience, I show you the right way of connecting with people and booking meetings. And the final bits of the session is going to be focused on a little bit of automation and content creation, but not content only that you're going to post out onto LinkedIn. It's going to be content that is going to be focused on generating sales for the prospecting process and for the booking meetings process. So I call it sales content that you can utilize. But for something like this, honestly, what I would recommend is you need to host live events on a regular basis. So I'm going to squeeze in here somewhere my live events framework that I offer. And what we're going to do is every single month, you're going to host a live event on the LinkedIn platform that we use as a lead magnet to circulate and add more people into your live event. And then during the live event, we're going to have free call to actions where people are going to book in a call and speak to you about the workshops that you do. Yeah right here.
So at this stage, he said to me, all right, I'm in, but can you just save that search for me so I don't lose that search? And this is why I'm confirming that, yes, you can save the search.
So I can go ahead and save the search. I can add it as a lead list as well. I would not recommend you do any automation. You need to hire me for me to explain exactly why you're going to benefit without any automation. It's going to damage your reputation 100%, because at the end of the day, the whole entire essence of building relationships is taking the time to manually engage with people and give value to them. AI, not yet at least, it cannot do that. It's not able to replicate the human mindset to be able to establish a fully functional relationship with people. And you're not going to need it, right? People use automation to be able to send out 175 connection requests a week and maybe get one meeting at the back end of that. You're going to be pitching maybe 7 to 10 people a day manually. It will take you about half an hour to an hour over time for you to do that, and you'll be converting it because these are your demographic. They're active on the platform from what you've told me, the workshops sound awesome. And with the live events process, you're giving them value before they jump on the call with you. Kind of like how you came here today.
Obviously, he asked me the question about automation, and he actually name dropped a tool that he was considering to get. And this is why I went into a lot of detail explaining to him the benefits of organic human relationship building. And when I asked him the final question, well, the final prompt where I suggested this is probably how you got here today, and he smiled at me and he kind of looked to the side and he was like, yeah, maybe.
I hosted a live event and you took value, as you told me, which I'm super grateful for, and you decided to talk to me. Same way that I'm selling to you, you're going to sell to your customers. Yeah.
This is really important, right? I've confirmed that I really appreciate the fact that he's here today, and I acknowledge that he's going to purchase from me, and I highlight the word selling to make sure that, again, he knows that I'm selling to him.
It's 1,190 euros. The invoice is sent prior to the work being complete. Once the invoice is paid, I send you out the discovery doc. Once the discovery doc has been complete on your end, you're going to email me some suggested times for us to start. As I said, we can start on a Monday. It's normally best that we start at the beginning of the week.
So at this point, really important question from the prospect. He says to me, Zach, just to confirm, what's the price and what's the payment terms?
So realistically, what I would say is if you decide that this is good for you, we can start as earliest as the second week of January. That will probably be best for me as well. Okay. Yeah.
And as you can see over here, I'm the one who's suggesting when we can start the work together, because I'm not available for him to just say, Zach, we can start tomorrow. I'm a busy guy. I have loads of clients. It needs to be on my schedule if he's going to involve me in his sales process, because he's going to benefit so much more from the service that I am going to provide to him. Same way your clients are going to benefit so much more from the clients from the services that you provide to them versus the money that you receive from them. All right, it's really important that you understand that they're going to benefit more from your service versus the money that they pay you. So over the past 5 minutes, he's given me a bunch of hints to say, yeah, I'm all in, sounds good, yep, I'm up for it. And then he just said to me, all right, I'm going to have a look at this in a lot of detail and I'll confirm. This is why I now go on to say,
and overall from our conversation today, did you take value? Okay. Okay. I appreciate that. Same to you.
And you can see over here, I'm controlling a smile because he said to me, yeah, I'm all in. I just need to see it on paper before I tell you yes, because I'm known to be impulsive and this is something that I'm getting a hold of. Honestly, my absolute dream customer. We don't need to battle things back and forth. He knows he's going to benefit from this. I know I'm going to be able to provide him a lot of value, and just continue to look at the look on my face and you'll be able to see what he's saying essentially by my reaction.
Okay, that means a lot. I appreciate it. But don't make a decision yet. I want you to take a look at the recordings and the tutorials that I'm going to send over to you. Go on my profile, take a look at the 40, 60, 70 testimonials that I have on my LinkedIn. Feel free to speak to anyone because I want this to be the right decision for you. Right, it's really, really, really important that you massively benefit from this.
So obviously I asked him the most important question I've told you all to ask. Did you take value? But before that, he's confirmed to me that he's more than happy to go ahead, but I paused him. I'm taking back the control, even though he's just made the decision to go ahead and purchase my service. I've told him, look, I want this to be the right decision for you. So I want you go and take a look at my profile. Go watch the tutorials that I'm going to provide to you. Take a look at X, Y, and Z. Because the decision has to not be impulsive, because if it's not impulsive, he's going to truly appreciate every single bit of information that I give him, and he isn't going to second guess anything. And now back to the most important question.
I'm just going to pull up my calendar. Straight after this call, I'm going to email you over the video tutorials and this deck for you to have a look through And any additional staff that you have, like up to 2 more people, they can jump onto the workshop and no additional cost. And why don't we say 4th of January at 2 p.m. That will be a Thursday for us to have a follow-up call for the next steps and decide if you want to start on this. So first week of January, the 4th, which is a Thursday, 2 p.m.
At this point, I can see that he was checking his calendar. That's why I made sure that I said the date, the confirmation that that's what we're going to do during that call. We're going to confirm if we're going to work together.
And then I said the date again. And now he's checking his calendar. He's confirming that that works for him. 2:30, I'm going to be in a meeting.
He then said if I could do half an hour later. I've completely declined that because I'm the one who made the suggestion, and it's very important with your clients that you are very decisive.
I can do half one. Yeah. No, half one is perfect. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move our Calendly event from today.
And then he suggests a half an hour before, and that works well for me.
Over to 1:30 on Thursday the 4th. And then just before that, I'm going to email you out the deck and the 2 video tutorials, and I will speak to you on the 4th. Cool. You're funny. Yeah. Okay.
And now he's just taking the opportunity to thank me again. He's confirming that he's going to meet me then. And now he also said that he's going to have a look at everything today. And if he has any more questions, he's going to write to me via email. And he said, "You've taught me so much in such a short amount of time. I can't wait to see what else there is." And that's why I go on to say,
I mean, look, I haven't even scratched the surface. There's so much more stuff to go through, and I'm just super grateful that you've taken value and you responded to the email, because if you didn't respond to the email, then we will not be on this call. So I really appreciate you, man. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it's my last working day, and then for the next 15 days, I'm gonna be playing Mario Kart and Pokemon with my nephew, and I can't wait. So no, this works out well. What plans do you have for Christmas?
so I just did something very important, and it isn't asking him what plans he has for Christmas after I've told him what I'm doing. I let him know that in 3 days' time, at that point, Friday is my last working day. And we'll find out why in a moment that was important.
Nice. Wow. Okay, cool. I need to go to Quan's Christmas. I love the sound of that. That's amazing.
So he's just telling
Me what he's doing over Christmas,
So he was just sharing that he's gone to another
country to see his
his family. I'm appreciating that, relaxing and relating, smiling, being happy. All of this is vital. Just be yourself. This is how I act in everyday conversations because I'm genuinely interested in people. I day trade attention and I like learning about people. So this actually fascinates me. You can't fake this kind of stuff. So if you are not comfortable with showing a genuine interest in someone, it doesn't mean you're not going to be able to sell, right? It just means that you're going to be more of the blunt, straight to the point kind of salesperson, and they sell just as much as the over enthusiastic salesperson. So if you can't do any of these techniques that I've done and the subliminal drops, don't be concerned about it whatsoever. It's not for everyone.
Fantastic. Look, it's been a pleasure. I really appreciate you giving me your time today, and you have a wonderful Christmas and New Year. Yeah. And I'll see you on the 4th, man. Cool. I'll email you now. All right. See you. Bye.
Now, very important point. We had about a 25-minute, half an hour call. I emailed him straight away. And then within 4 hours afterwards, he sent me back an email. He said he's beginning to go through the videos that I've sent over to him. Everything makes a lot of sense. Can we actually start at the beginning of the second week? I am happy to go ahead. Let me know what you need from me. So deal was closed. So in this workshop, because I knew this was going to be a closed sale, I was going to show you all the pitch call and the sales call 1 and call 2. But this is the prime example. If you give value to your customers prior to jumping on a call with you, as I did with the free live event that I produced, you've already jumped past one phase, which is another sales call. So that's why it's absolutely essential that you will create a lead magnet that's going to work for you in a way that you could provide more value before people jump on the call and speak to you. Hopefully there are some smiley faces. I was smiling the whole entire 45 minutes. It really does fascinate me how amazing I am at sales. And I know that sounds really arrogant and really cocky, but it's because of this process. Everything that I've created that you all have access to is the blueprint of every single sale I've ever generated on the LinkedIn platform. And now essentially it's your opportunity to implement and utilize those steps to be able to close deals for yourself. Now you're going to hear me say over and over and over every single time that I talk to you, live events, live events, live events. The way that I identified this individual is because he came into a live event. He did a sales support Q&A where a couple of you were in the room as well. He took value from this. And because of the fact that he took value, we jumped one phase of the call. Go ahead and take a 5-minute break. We'll come back here at 26 past. I'm here to answer any questions during this 5-minute break if anyone wants to talk, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. Before you start creating content that you want engagement on, the number one thing that you want to do is provide engagement to other people. Because this way you're able to leverage the growth that they have got from the people that are engaging in their content. So the prime example of this is I'm going to identify people who I know have my target audience. So Alex Hormozy, Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, anyone who sells anything about personal growth, anything related to motivation, anything related to sales, or I can go and have a look at the top sales trainers for LinkedIn and go ahead and add value to their content. Every single day for half an hour, comment on 10 posts from 10 people, and then respond to some of their comments as well, right? So respond to the people that are also commenting on their content. That's really, really, really important. We went through this in the last session and why it works. And then what happens is your home feed of your LinkedIn profile is going to show you content of people that LinkedIn believes is producing content that you would be interested in, that you're already connected to. Now, there's an option on your home feed, only on the desktop, not on your mobile, where you can switch it from related posts to new posts. So you can specifically change it to the most recent posts, and you can see everyone who you're connected with, your first connections that are posted 4 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, and you start engaging with them. And then you send them a message, and you basically, even if they're not your target audience, the engagement process works. Send them a message and you say, "Hi, Yanina, I saw the post that you just put out about your friend's book awards night. The book release party. It was really cool. How did you find it?" Try and ask a question to have a back and forth conversation, because it's all algorithmic based. The second the algorithm understands you engaged in someone's content, you send them a message, they responded to you, it's going to do something absolutely magical. The very next time you post, your post is going to appear on their feed.
Okay. Right.
It's so twisted, but it works. I've tested this out many, many, many times. In order to generate engagement, there are some very, very, very important top tips that I recommend to people. Top tip number 1 is don't use hashtags.
Okay.
You know, it is a chicken and egg, but on Instagram and TikTok and all these other platforms, apparently hashtags are important. When it comes to LinkedIn, I use 3 hashtags. One is one that I built myself for my community, so we can all use the hashtag to engage in each other's content, kind of like an engagement pod, right? The other one would be community. The other one would be LinkedIn. The other one would be AI. Every other hashtag, in my opinion, for the content I put out isn't going to do me any favors whatsoever. The hashtags, it's going to be highlighted in blue. It makes your posts look ugly, essentially, right? I see people that they've tagged a bunch of people, then they've put a bunch of hashtags and they've put a link at the bottom of it, and they have 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 shares because people aren't going to read it because you're trying too hard.
Okay.
So personally, if I'm ever going to tag anyone in a post, either they know beforehand I'm going to tag them in the post.
Yeah.
So for example, if I'm going to, I think when a couple of people joined my community and we promoted them to core members, which I should do more often, I made a post and I told everyone I'm going to make a post, but to make sure it gets seen on the algorithm, you need to respond instantly. Because if you're going to write a post about me straight away, like imagine you're going to write a post right now and I don't within the first hour comment on that post, the algorithm is going to believe Zach, he didn't approve that post about him.
Oh, okay.
So it's not going to push it out.
Yeah.
So this is why, as when it comes to people tagging people in posts, I always say don't unless it's specific for a reason and they know that you're going to tag them,
Yeah.
or it's someone you know, it's someone that you're friends with, it's someone that's engaging in your content or is
Yeah.
in your community and they're actually going to reply.
Mhm.
Now, if you go through the history of my content, especially last year when I was trying out a bunch of stuff, I would occasionally, people who have just invited me to connect, to just captivate their attention, I would do a networking post, which if you go to my LinkedIn, you'll see what they are like. They're in the content guide as well, where it's just like every single week, these people connect with me, and anyone who would like to connect with anyone in my network, introduce yourself below, name what you want support with, name what you can
Yeah.
give help with. In a post like that, a networking post, I would write in the comments, I've just connected with these 12 people. Please introduce yourself so we can get to know each other better.
Mm.
That yields some good results. But right now, I refuse to talk about content because it's pissed me off. I have no idea for the first time in 6 years what's going on with the algorithm. 4 weeks ago, I put a post out about the workshop. It was a very, very, very salesy post. It had a lot of engagement. My very next post about that, after that, dipped completely because the platform doesn't like you sharing content where you're trying to sell stuff.
Right.
It doesn't. And this is why personal content is the most important. I wish that
Yeah.
Guda was here right now because I had a conversation with her before she bought the workshop, and we had this exact conversation where I reviewed all of her content and I could see that she would use like Instagram images. So the kind of images that you post on your Instagram with really nice text and graphics and stuff like that to promote her service. And I told her, please do me a favor, straight after this call, I want you to write a personal post about your journey and the struggles you had over the past year. It hit her most recent post hit 12 likes in total. This had 270 likes on it within 24 hours because it was personal.
Yeah.
So if you were to write a post, so I'm going to encourage everyone to do this post the day before Christmas, right? My 2023 greatest hits, and just write a list of your top 10 accolades or achievements in 2023.
Right.
That post is going to go viral because it's an end of year post. It's kind of like how Spotify do the end of year wrap up and all of that stuff. It's kind of like that. People want to celebrate your accomplishments. Every single time I write, I signed a new client or I landed a new job or I've built this or I've done this, people love to celebrate your accomplishments. What people don't like is, hi, my name is Zach and I can help you get customers. They
Yeah,
don't like that.
Absolutely.
Don't use hashtags or try not to use hashtags. If you do use them, use a maximum of 3, right? But do a split test. Right now, the only thing that I can guarantee is going to work are polls. Surveys, polls, because they're still fairly new on the platform. They instantly get promoted towards your audience.
Right.
And it's a nice way to get engagement, not likes and comments, but opinions from other people. Because I utilize polls as a sales magnet. So what I do is I would write a poll and I would ask someone, The question was, how much money did you generate in 2023? I gave 4 options, 0 to 10K, 10 to 50K, 50 to 100, 500 plus.
Yeah.
So all the people that said 500 plus, I sent them a DM and I said to them, how did you make plus 500K? And then we had just had a back and forth conversation. And surprisingly, I'm in the process of actually pitching one guy. So all the people that have said maybe like 0 to 10 or 10 to 20, I would ask them questions about how they're generating their money and I would give them advice.
Right. Right.
So
Smart.
I've literally got 3 polls for you right now. Posts plus polls. So write some short lines, some
Mhm.
text, and then write a poll. And then your number 1 poll, which you don't even need to put any text on, is a question that you put out. Have you ever dealt with, what am I going to say? For you specifically. Well, what am I going to end the
Burnout.
question with? Yes. Have you ever dealt with burnout? Question mark. Yes, no, I currently am.
Yeah.
And then you have a conversation with each of these people and you're like, hey, Anna, I saw you made a vote on the post, right? I appreciate that. What are you doing to support yourself with your burnout?
Right. Yeah.
5 back and forth messages, you're on a call.
Yep. Yeah, it makes sense.
Kaleem, you could write a post that says, are you in the MENA region and searching for staff? Yes or no? For example, ask questions about absolutely anything, because the more questions that you ask your audience, the more response you're going to get. And this is why in my most recent post, a lot of you will see at the end of the post, I put a PS question. At the very end of the post, I put a question, I do P.S. What was your thoughts on this? Or how does this relate to you? Or what's your favorite TV show? Like a random question at the end to force people to comment.
Mm-hmm.
And the final tip I want to give you is you have to be the first person to comment on your own post
Ah, okay.
every single time. They've recently removed this, but previously the LinkedIn platform will prompt you to say, continue the conversation
Oh, yeah.
in the comments section. You've probably seen that before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because you need to be the one taking away that fear of being the first person to like a comment, because
Okay.
everybody doesn't like to be the first at
Yeah,
a lot of stuff.
true.
So just go ahead and just write a bunch of comments. My most successful posts are the ones where I'm in line at Costa Coffee, going to get an espresso. It takes me 2 minutes to write it. There's a queue and they've made my coffee or they're about to make my coffee. So I'm just starting to write more comments in that post. And before I know it, I wrote a post with 10 comments. So this is a conspiracy theory. Switch off your LinkedIn or close your application or close your browser for like 5 minutes afterwards.
Huh?
Just after you've posted, because I've recently begun to do that. And every time I do, surprisingly, I come back and I've got like 10 likes on the post. But the times where I'm just sat there and I'm just like awaiting people to engage, nothing happens. So
Oh, interesting.
it's kind of like it's there was a documentary on Netflix about how Instagram forces you to come back, right? It's like really manipulative and stuff like this. And what they do is they will show you specifically content that they know that you are attracted by or you're addicted to and things like this. Every single time that you go back on the platform to make sure you're going to spend at least 10 minutes on the platform.
Oh,
So, yeah.
oh,
All right.
great. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Continuing on with the session, if you would like to rewatch that live sales call analysis, this is going to be hyperlinked after this recording. So you can go back in. And as I just mentioned to the individuals in the room today, that there are a couple of additional things that I said during that call that I didn't actually analyze. So if you do have another look, you'll be able to pick them up. Absolutely everything that you say, and you'll learn to do this over time, that you say during a sales call is psychological in a polite manner to make sure that you can build trust with that individual. So let's dive in because we've got a lot more fun stuff to go through. The next steps, right? So this is section 3 now. We need to focus on the next steps after the sales call. So there's a confirmation email. that you need to be able to send out to people. So you've done your initial prospecting call, you've showed them your pitch deck, you've agreed to have a second call, you've done the second call, they've agreed that they would like to go ahead with you. These are just my recommendations. Now, everyone, just take this with a pinch of salt. You don't need to do it exactly step by step for the next 6 or 7 slides that I show you, but it's just my recommendations based on closing well over 6,000 deals in my lifetime. Like, I know what needs to go in there. So this is what you include in the confirmation email: a warm greeting, thank them for agreeing to work with your company, request all the information that you need from them, confirm the exact price and the list of services that they have opted in for, confirm a start date, confirm the duration of the service, any additional information, close with, and it's important that you say this, you look forward to working with them. I say something kind of different. It's really cheesy, but something in my head will not let me stop saying this. Paranoia, karma, I don't know, whatever it is, but I've changed it to I look forward to growing with you, because the more my clients grow, the more that I grow. And it's me emphasizing the fact that I know the service I'm going to deliver for them is going to grow. And I'm more than happy for everyone in the room, if your service is related to helping your clients grow in any way, shape, or form, could be mental, could be physical, could be financial, use that because it works. Once you have sent a confirmation email and they've provided you with all the information that you require, you're going to send the invoice. You need to include your company details deck inside the invoice itself. Fortunately, legally, I asked my accountant, I can't give any examples of an invoice. Even if I black it out, they don't like that whatsoever. So I'm just going to tell you company details, their company details, the start date and the end date, any kind of a reference, cost of service, the description, your bank account details, or however you want to receive the funds, and anything else required by your legal or tax system. Now, once you receive the funds, what not to do is retire on the €1,000 that you've just earned. Don't spend it all in one go. Don't buy stuff that you don't need, and do not stop prospecting completely. I know during the Q&A last week, I mentioned to one of the individuals in the workshop that once you get your first deal, do pause on the prospecting and then go ahead after you've completed the work for that client, go ahead and get another customer. But like, don't completely stop prospecting. Still do some engagement. Still start building up a pipeline and a relationship with individuals. What to do is email them confirming the payment has received, confirm the start date, book in all the dates on the calendar if it is one-to-one consulting that you provide to your customer, and send them a discovery doc if that's something that you do. Now, my top tip is reinvest or save 15% of every single invoice. Now, there's a reason for this. December typically is normally the hardest months for people to sell, especially independent business owners, entrepreneurs, and consultants. It's just the way that it is. And I had to understand that in a really, really, really difficult way in 2019, a year or two after setting up my business. I wasn't in the best position in the world. I was just like breaking even, and I had a bit of extra money, but I literally couldn't close more than, I think it was £600, because I lived in England at the time. And that was not enough to cover the lifestyle I was building up for myself. So I promised myself I will never be in a position again when it comes to December that I'm not going to have any money. So what I did is every single month, I've increased this amount quite drastically since, especially in the past year, just because you never know what's going on with the economy. But I've always put 15% aside, and thankfully, last December was tough. It was good, but it was still tough. And because of the fact I have this mindset now, every single year on December the 15th, I switch off. I never work on the weekends, and the whole entire month of October, I take off because of the money that I either reinvest or I save. Now, send the confirmation email. You send the invoice, they've paid you money. Now it's time to go ahead and get started. set
So-
up. The free trial allows you to have many
Oh, that
boards and many cards within each.
shouldn't have done that. Project management. First phase of getting started with your customer. It's absolutely essential that you utilize some form of software or tool to be able to project manage the whole entire relationship that you have with your customer. I've put a link in over here for a link I found on Google. I haven't gone through every single tool because I only use Trello. We've got loads of people in the room that they are fanatics as it relates to Notion or Asana or Gantt charts and all this other incredible tools. But for me, Trello's been a lifesaver. I'm going to show you all it in a minute, and it's the one I would personally recommend. Now, benefits of you having a project management tool is organization and structure. It creates a centralized space for organizing tasks and client information. If you need any email details or sign-in details for their accounts, or if you would like to make a list of all their social media accounts, or just to take notes of the conversation, this is where you keep everything for point 5, which is transparency, and it's just nice to stay organized. It does reduce the risk of overlooking at crucial details because you're building a checklist for yourself, which I'll show in a minute. You can track all your tasks and stay accountable. So essentially assigning and track tasks for consultants, clients, and team members, or your clients specifically, or even for yourself. I have my own Trello board that nobody has access to, and it works in a much better way than a to-do list because I can set reminders, I can color code it, I can do all this great stuff. It also ensures accountability and you can track your progress. In addition to tracking your progress, I'm going to show you this in a minute as well. But if you're tracking the hours that you spend with a client, you should do this in Trello because they can see, oh, I only have 2 hours left, right? So it's just good to utilize it to the best of your ability. And as it relates to communication and collaboration, integrating communication tools for messaging, commenting, and file sharing is all included, especially in Trello. And it prevents important information from getting lost in email threads and stuff like this, because a lot of these project management tools, especially Trello, is incredibly secure. Everything isn't completely secure, but it's incredibly secure. If you work in Web3, you know why I had to emphasize on that. And then the 4th point, deadline management, the creation of project timelines, milestones, and deadlines. And it also helps consultants and clients stay on track of their project schedules. Transparency and engagement wise, which is one of the main reasons why I utilize it, because I can in real time share updates and progress of the projects, add any documents, any updates, anything like that. And it just enhances the whole entire relationship I have with my clients. So moving on, this is my personal recommendation. It's Trello, and just take a minute to have a look at my brief tutorial. I counted this earlier, 45 or 55 boards. I don't remember, so I cannot show you the main page, but this is just the page of a specific board. So you have your main page, then you've got your workspaces. In every workspace, you can have 10 boards, and within each board, you can have as many cards, and these are cards and columns as you want. So take a look at this. My personal recommendation would be to utilize Trello for your project management with your clients. It's really easy to set up. The free trial allows you to have many boards and many cards within each board. But in addition to that, you can have up to 10 workspaces. So realistically, you can have 10 workspaces with 10 boards, and in each board, you can go absolutely crazy and have as much detail as you want in there. Typically for my workshops, what I do is I have a column for expectations, where, as I discussed in the very first session, we list all of the expectations for the client. Whatever homework or coursework, whatever you want to call it, you list here. And the best thing about Trello is when you're adding cards, you are able to click this pen, edit the label, and you can categorize your label by either in progress, pending, complete, whatever you want. But in addition to that, you can also change the members. So you can add your client to the board. They will only have access to the board that you add them to. And then you can also set
deadlines in here as well, so they know when the task needs to be complete by. Whatever questions they have for you, they can put the question in here and they can tag you in this question by utilizing the member button. Whatever additional resources you want to provide to your clients, or whatever resources you're creating for them, could be content calendars, could be how-to guides, could be frameworks, whatever it is, you can put this here. And if you're structuring your services by sessions, by hours, it's important to detail everything that they've purchased and break down each of the topics, that once you've done them, you can go ahead and edit the label, mark it as complete, so that they know it has been complete. So there's never any back and forth questioning about, have we done this, have we done that? Everything's detailed there. Now, some additional cards that I would recommend that you add is a tracker and recordings, and you can keep this at the very front of your board just by moving the cards back and forth. And the really good thing about this is that you can track all the hours that you're spending with the client, and whatever recorded sessions you do, you could put them over here. So yes, there are hundreds of project management tools you could utilize, but my personal recommendation is going to be Trello, as I use it every single day and it works seamlessly with all of my clients, regardless if it's a 2-hour consultation, a 7-hour workshop, or an ongoing retainer.
Use Trello. It's fantastic. I cannot recommend it highly.
Any higher. So once you got project management set out of the way, the first thing you want to do during your first hour with your customer, your client, especially in Trello as well, as you saw in the previous board, I had an expectations column, is set the expectations with your client. So in the first 5 minutes of session 1, ask them why they decided to work with you. Get them to re-emphasize their decision, the right decision that they made, so they can just remind themselves what they actually purchased. You don't need to do this for them. It's important that you pull from them. This way you fully understand that they fully understand what they're receiving. You tell them that we're going to set these expectations together to keep me accountable, but it's also to keep them accountable as well, so they understand I've only paid for this and I'm only going to get this. If there's anything in addition that they want during the expectations, that's an instant upsell. Ask them to spend the next 5 minutes detailing all the expectations they have based on the services rendered, so the services that they have purchased. Review the expectations straight after they've spent 5 minutes going through it. So what I normally do is I tell them, I'm going to be quiet now, and in the next 5 minutes, I'm just going to take notes. You're going to talk, and you're just going to give me a list of all of your expectations. And I'm taking the notes. And after that, I unmute myself and I go through everything that they have said in terms of expectations, and I analyze it and we agree. And on some of them, we may set some KPIs, we may set some kind of deadlines. It depends on the expectation. Why this works? Transparently holding yourself accountable not only fosters a better working relationship, but it also provides peace of mind for your clients. Now, managing the relationships. You've just started work together. It may be your first customer, maybe your 20th customer. This is my ultimate checklist, and thankfully a lot of the what not to do, if not all of them, I think maybe apart from when ChatGPT first came out, I did ask myself, can I use this to shortcut my work? But I tried it on my own and I'm like, this is horrible. My recommendation, never use ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT to support you with stuff, but never get it to actually do tasks for you. It can't, not yet at least. No matter how well you can prompt it. What to do when managing your relationships? Under promise, over deliver. Every single time. If they've paid for 7 hours and you decide to give them an extra half an hour or an extra hour, that goes a long, long, long way. Why do you think every single time we've done a Q&A, I've said in the ticket that you purchased, there's a half an hour Q&A after every session? Why do you think I stayed on for 1.5 hours, 2 hours, or an hour? Because when there is a demand, feed the demand and people will build a better trust with you. Always show up on time. Always be organized. Always stick to the duration. Never talk back to your client. Respect their time and their money. Go above and beyond, just like over promising and over delivering. Constantly stay innovative. Don't cross boundaries. Have an agreed working schedule. My clients know after 7 p.m., I don't respond to any messages. Not because I go out of my way to tell them, because I don't respond to messages. Same on the weekend. If there is something massively urgent after 7 p.m., I'm awake, right? If I can see the message is massively urgent, I will decide if I'm going to deal with it or respond to it. Same on the weekend as well. If you don't have boundaries, your clients will take over your life because they're paying you and they are so used to having employees, a lot of them, that they may start treating you like an employee. Once you ever get, and unfortunately, all of you, including myself, are going to get to that situation where a client is going to try and treat you like an employee. This is where you set your boundaries and you just emphasize, I'm not your employee. You're my client and I'm here to deliver a service for you. It's going to take a lot of confidence to get there, but you're going to learn over time to naturally really be proud of yourself for who you are and prioritize yourself over your clients when it comes to your personal boundaries. Now, what not to do. Don't deliver the work that they paid for. Don't do that. Always deliver the work that they've paid for. Do not show up unprepared. Do not show up scruffy. Don't bring personal stuff into a professional situation. Always respect your client. Don't try and pass ChatGPT as your own work. Try not to shortcut the process. Don't cross any boundaries. Don't argue with your client. And do not, and please never do this, no matter how much a customer pays you, never prioritize one client over another. At the end of the day, this individual is invested in you, and that's the most important thing. And as I was literally about to say, remember, your client has chosen you. They have invested in you. There's always an opportunity for an upsell, which we will get to. There's always an opportunity for a referral. Treat them how you want to be treated if the roles were reversed. With empathy, compassion, and respect. The upsell. Crafting your upsell. The upsell could be renewing your current contract or crafting a new proposal. So imagine you're a consultant. They have booked you for 5 hours. On hour 5 or hour 4, you can say our time is coming up. Would you like to renew on the same offer? Alternatively, if it is a new offering, craft this upsell to include services that you haven't provided to them previously, or at an increased rate or a decreased rate of the service offering. That's not for me to tell you how to do it or if you should give a discount or anything like that, but it's your decision because you know the relationship you've had with that individual. If they have hired you, for example, on a project management basis for 50 hours over a period of 3 months, and then the project management period is now over, you could stay on board as an advisor for 3 or 4 hours a week. You're not 3 or 4 hours a week or 3 or 4 hours a month. I'm just basing it on previous experiences. Obviously, that's a fraction of what you were getting paid previously, but this is a service that you sold to them. And as they are already a paying client, include an incentive such as either complimentary services or hours, which is what I normally choose to go for, or a discount on the price. Again, totally your choice if you decide to do that. But it's just a nice way to better foster the relationship, gain more trust, and upsell. So, planting the seed. I'm going to really bring it full circle in a minute, but there's a how and a when, right? So you got the initial call. You give them a hint of all the services that you have to offer. In the sales call analysis that we just went through in the workshop today, you could see that I mentioned to the person I was prospecting, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. This is planting the seed and telling them there's more that you could pay me for. There's a whole range of services that I could provide to you, and we can have so much growth and success together. But to get started, we need to go through phase 1. During the actual work, you can express to them if there is an opportunity that you're open to providing additional support. Prime example, I have a client who has a podcast, and their podcast editing person has been off sick, and they said to me, I'm really stressed out. I don't have the time to edit the podcast or anything like that. I said to them, if you want, I'm really fast at editing. I can take a couple of hours out of our work and do some editing for you. Because I made that offer, in addition to the retainer that they pay me, they also pay me for sales. They also pay me an additional retainer for editing now. It was not intentional. It's not a main service that I have in my service offering, but because I saw the opportunity and I'm crafty, I went for it. And now your second to last hour that you spend with them. Use the it doesn't have to end method. Just a show of hands. Use the reaction button. Has anyone ever used the it doesn't have to end method? Just put a thumbs up. If you don't know what the it doesn't have to end method is, just put up a love heart. Okay. Respect. Amazing. All right. Cool. Well, I'm going to show you what it is. It works like a charm every single time, 9 times out of 10. So upselling the client, right? So let's just recap really quickly. This is the upsell. This is how you craft your upsell. This is how you plant the seed. And this is how you actually do it with the it doesn't have to end process and what's it called? It's a method. During your final session with this individual, with your client, start by expressing that it's sad that the session is coming to an end. Ask them if they can stay for an extra 15 minutes on your time, as you want to share some options with them. Never say, because I would like to show you some stuff. Some options. You have to use that phrase. Can I share some options with you? Because you've already emphasized that it's sad that it's coming to an end. So they are going to know what the options are. Continue to provide the most amount of value and over deliver in the last hour. Make that last hour an absolute bang. Or if, for example, you're providing a service rather than giving your time away for consultations, right? And you're maybe creating content for your client as a marketer, rather than the 2 last pieces of content that they paid for, give them 5. Just like really end that relationship on a high note. And I say relationship because it's not going to end. At the end of the session, express how much you've enjoyed working for them if you have. Present the results that they've generated on the screen. Provide them with some actionable steps. Express that it doesn't have to end. Present your upsell. And then book in a call for 3 days from now to discuss taking the upsell or renewing your contract. So here's a live example of an upsell. I'm really sad that this is coming to an end because I've massively enjoyed, as you can tell by the look on my face, over the past 7 to 10 hours that we've all spent together, how much I have enjoyed this. And it sucks that it's coming to an end. It really, really, really does. But it doesn't have to come to an end. Why does it not have to come to an end? Because, let me just go back to the beginning of all of this and show you all again. I'm 100% interested in 100% of all the people in the room. That's why, to reiterate, for the first 6 weeks of January, I'm offering you all a free of charge LinkedIn Sales Operating the System continuous support group. Still going to decide if it's going to be on Slack or WhatsApp or maybe even a chat on the LinkedIn platform. I think that may be the most appropriate, but you're going to get 30-minute Q&A sessions with me as a group for the first 6 weeks of January. We're going to meet once a week. You all are going to be able to ask me as many questions as you want. And there's going to be a free private community where every single person in this room, there isn't going to be anyone who ever enters that community who has not completed this course. And it's intentional because I want everyone to be armed with the same amount of skill set so everyone can celebrate their wins together and talk about their struggles together as well. Because there's going to be many obstacles that you are going to face that other people within the community are going to face as well. So to support everyone for the first few weeks, we're going to meet once a week for 30 minutes. And as you know from the previous Q&A sessions, and we're about to do one now, you know what I'm like. It is going to go over 100% because I am here to help you. And this is how each of you can support each other in this community. And I know you're going to crush it in 2024. So this is how I am giving you all peace of mind. This is how I'm giving myself peace of mind that you're going to crush it. But it doesn't end there. There's something really important. Because a lot of you are going to need some direct support from me implementing my steps and my techniques. Those who don't, amazing, fantastic. Those who do, amazing and fantastic. It's completely optional if you want to take advantage of what I'm sharing with you now. But there's some additional things that you're going to receive next week. These are live event framework. I discussed this at the beginning of the session before we started recording, so I'm just going to go over this as well. As I mentioned in the sales call analysis that we had during this workshop today, the main way that I was able to close that deal that we analyzed together on the call was this individual joined a live event that I was hosting. This was not an audio or a video event that was streamed into LinkedIn or YouTube or anywhere else. It was a Zoom link that I was circulating to direct individuals that I know that I could sell to and support. And I gave half an hour to about an hour, you know what I'm like, of free time where I was just doing Q&As. They took value from this, agreed to jump on a call with me. So what I've done is I've completely documented, just like how you have in part 1 of the manual, step by step, everything you need to do to craft your live events, circulate them, publish them, to host them, inviting guests, how you bulk invite people. There's a whole entire structure around it, and I'm throwing that in for free. Now, how would you like to make 11,000 euros within the space of 3 weeks? We all would love to do it. The bonus material I'm providing you is the documentation and the video recording of the step-by-step process of absolutely everything I did to design, craft, build, circulate, and sell the LinkedIn Sales Operating System, the workshop that you're in right now. I've completely documented everything because it doesn't make sense that more people are not selling their knowledge in a short form content format. So this is one of the ways that you're really going to benefit from this. I walk through how I utilize my Trello board, how I use my checklist, how I actually craft all the information, the ways that I got ChatGPT to offer me some advice and tweak the grammar of some content that I created specifically. What else was there? The platforms that I utilized to host the event, such as Eventbrite, and to circulate it. Why I also published the event on the LinkedIn platform. Why I changed the hour of the event on the LinkedIn live event to 1 hour before, just before the workshop went live, to generate me an additional 6 or 7 sales. And in addition to that, the scheduled 6-week support group that you all have access to. So here's everything that you've received so far. You've got the manual. You've got 16 easy to implement frameworks and you've got 16 easy to implement frameworks for sales. You have 3 2-hour recorded workshops, including the one today. And you have 2 of the pitch decks. So in the first recording, we went through the manual and I showed you all how to use it. In the second one, we went through the first pitch deck, the first pitch deck, which was all about prospecting and actually getting that meeting booked. And this is what I call the checklist pitch deck. And technically, I should change it because it isn't 3 hours, because I re-recorded session 1 and that alone was 4 hours. So now, here's a special offer for absolutely everyone who's participated in the LinkedIn Sales Operating System workshop. Regardless of if you want this or not, the offer's on the table. The support group is open to absolutely everyone who's participated in the workshop. Do you remember at the beginning I was talking about 30%ers? So hello 30%ers. Are you ready to close some deals? Would you like some one-to-one support? In January, I've calculated I can work with 10 people. There's over 50 people with the exception of the additional 55 to the corporates that I sold this workshop to. There's over 50 people that are going to be watching this recording. I would love to clone myself and help everyone, but I can't. There's just not enough hours in the day. And unfortunately, there's this thing called sleep that we all need. So I'm just not going to be able to do it. But with 10 people, I can. So this is what I want to offer you. Working with me, the next steps are the following. A lot of the information that's been presented to you in the LinkedIn Sales Operating the System is usually provided during my one-to-one sales workshops, which you saw me present during the sales call analysis that you reviewed today. That's 7 hours for 1,190 euros. Therefore, these two options that I'm presenting over here, that was cheesy, will be completely bespoke to working with you for only the things that you will benefit from the most. We will work together to customize the structure of either the 5-hour or the 12-hour program and set key expectations in place to ensure that you generate the maximum value from these next step solutions. So option number 1 is 850 euros. This is for 5 hours. I do not have a 5-hour package. I've crafted one specifically for this workshop. It can be taken over any period of time. Whenever I've done stuff like this in the past, so I have a retainer package for 10 hours whenever anyone needs me. I've had people spread that over the course of 6 months. So whenever you need me, you'll be able to utilize this. I will work with you to implement the steps of the system that you have access to, and it's going to be bespoke to your needs. I can give you direct support with crafting your services. I can give you help with developing and launching your first paid workshop. I had to emphasize on the word paid because next week you're receiving the bonus material, which is how to launch your first paid workshop. I can give you support with crafting your content. I can give you help with restructuring your business. I can guide you through booking your first few meetings, or alternatively, them 5 hours could be used for me taking over your account for LinkedIn and attempting to book meetings for you as a ghostwriter. I take over 8 accounts every single week to book meetings for people. I've got no problem with taking on another few more. Option number 2 is absolutely everything that's included in option 1. So whatever you want to choose, we're going to customize and bespoke a workshop or a program, I would like to call it, based on your needs and requirements. This package is usually 7 hours. And for anyone who is interested in either option 1 or option number 2, we have to have a phone call, right? Because I need to understand specifically what you want to benefit. And then if you're undecided and you're not sure if you need option 1 or if you need option 2, if I calculate that it isn't going to take a lot of time to execute on everything that you do, I'll say option 1. If I say it's going to take a lot of time, I may say option 1, maybe plus option 2, or I may create something completely bespoke for you. However, please confirm which option you would like by December 31st, because I'm very organized. As you've learned throughout this whole entire workshop, I need to make sure that I have in between the 31st. So as soon as you can would be better. In between the 31st and the 1st, so on New Year's Eve, I need to make sure my whole entire 30-day schedule for January is complete. Otherwise, my life's going to be a mess. And that's the end of the workshop. So thank you everyone who joined. Let's turn on our cameras. Let's take some pictures. Thank you all. This has been a pleasure. And I will circulate information to everyone about the 6-week support group program that I'm introducing for free. I'm still waiting for everyone to complete the feedback form. So please do check your emails. I've sent through a feedback form and I asked you if you're happy to join the community. And again, the only individuals that are going to be joining the community are going to be the people that have purchased the workshop. It's not a public community. I have a free public community. This is the number 1 priority because you all have invested in me. So it's my decision to spend more time with each of you because you've all been awesome. And let's do some Q&A. Thank you all. So let me just wrap this up for the recording. Thank you very much for participating in the LinkedIn Sales Operating System workshop. I'm Zach Derris, and I hope you implement every single step that I've taught you in this workshop. Have a wonderful 2024. Bye.